Yeah, I've been here, man. Where y'all been at? Where have you guys been, man? I've been waiting for you. Say no, guys. Welcome to the Wrestling Replays. Cato here with an episode. Let's talk about it. Episode number 8. Pretty much we're gonna be talking about the landscape of WWE. This episode we're gonna really focus on Monday Night Raw. Now, the whole point of this Let's Talk About It episode is because I haven't been doing my Monday Night Raw recaps. Work just got hectic, man. Life got a little busy, so I haven't been able to record like I wanted to and like I normally do. So I figured, okay, we're gonna have to do a rundown of everything that's been happening on Monday Night Raw. Then I'm gonna drop a video of Let's Talk About It episode number 9, where we'll do AEW and we'll review the first episode of Rampage. That was a pretty good episode. And then we'll do another episode of Let's Talk About It, where we'll talk about what's going on with SmackDown. And that will catch us all up with what's going on in the rest of the world, and we'll roll right into SummerSlam. So there's going to be a lot of videos, a lot of content coming out this week. Just stay tuned, man, because y'all been away. Y'all been gone. I've been here recording by myself. But now let's go ahead and talk about Monday Night Raw real quick. Let's run down exactly what happened on Monday Night Raw. The matches that took place, and then we'll break it down like that, as far as everything that's going on. All right, I had to take a lot of notes because a lot of stuff been going on. Now we kicked off with Matt Riddle going against AJ Styles, with AJ Styles getting a win over Matt Riddle, with Randy Orton walking off on Matt Riddle before the match even took place. Now, one thing I could say, when RK Bro first started, it was one of the best things as far as entertainment wise going on Monday Night Raw, and that's what Monday Night Raw has really been missing. If you're gonna have a 3-hour show, it has to entertain me outside of the wrestling ring. You gotta have these, scenarios. You gotta have these storylines that people are gonna care about, people are gonna laugh at, people are gonna cry about, something to get invested into. I'm not gonna say that every fan is gonna be invested in every single storyline. That would be insane. So if you have 2 or 3 storylines that have these people invested, then 2 or 3 over here that have these people invested, then that's perfect. Now you have everybody coming in and watching Monday Night Raw like they should be anyway. So RK Bro was one of those storylines I thought was really entertaining. It was funny. You got Matt Riddle, who's just naturally charismatic. And then you have Randy Orton, who feel like he has that dry sense of humor, but he can control the crowd without saying a word. You know what I'm saying? So when you mix those two together, it was perfect. It meshed well. Now, we seen last week Randy Orton gave the RKO to Matt Riddle. That looked like, RK Bro was going to be done for, and we're going to get the feud between Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Now, I'm going to say this right now. Honestly, that would be a pretty good feud for Matt Riddle and Randy Orton to have, and I think would actually help propel Matt Riddle to the next level of his career anyway, getting a win like that over Randy Orton, or just being locked into a feud like that with Randy Orton. I said that plenty of times. I said that about Drew McIntyre. Anyone that Randy pretty much got into the ring with, he helped put him over all the way. Excuse me. So, I thought that would have been a good feud if that would have taken place. That don't look like it's going to happen now, with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle seemingly have made up, and they're going to go after these tag team titles with AJ Styles and Omos. Now, let's talk about the landscape of the tag teams in the WWE. As a whole, it's a mess. This is a mess. I'm not gonna lie. Monday Night Raw has felt like I have been watching, just living in deja vu. Like, it's been happening over and over again. The same storyline just kind of rekindled itself. Similar matches happening. And that definitely is because of the brand split. Now, I feel like if you are a legit men's tag team, I feel like if you're the tag team champions, you should be able to jump brands back and forth, because that will give us the best tag team matchups. Let's look at Monday Night Raw and the tag teams that they had. You have AJ Styles and Omos, who was never really a legit tag team. You have the Viking Raiders, New Day, who are. You had the Hurt Business, who they broke up, which when they was catching their stride, which is crazy. I felt like that veteran leadership you got from Shelton Benjamin and him teaming up with the young Cedric Alexander, it meshed well and it worked out, right? Right now you also have T-Bar and Mace, who, I mean, they kind of ruined them. You let these guys get beat in handicap matches multiple times. The same thing with Veer and Shanky. You let these guys get beat in handicap matches. So it's hard to say that you have good big tag teams when they're losing to one person. So the landscape of the tag teams on Monday Night Raw is not really big outside of the New Day and the Viking Raiders. I don't really count anyone as a legit tag team. I do like RK Bro just because they're entertaining, but that's not a team that I see teaming with each other for years and years to come, or have been teaming with each other prior to, this current situation of Matt Riddle just wanted to somehow, for whatever reason, jump on the Randy Orton bandwagon. Now, I think that's the problem enough for the matches of where we can get the Usos in there, we can get the Street Profits in there. Hell, even Rude and Ziggler would have been okay. The Dirty Dogs would have been fine. But the landscape of the Tag Team Championship is really dry. And I think that's really hurting what's going on the Monday Night Raw side of things, especially when you have a 3-hour show. But let's go ahead and move on, man. It's just not too many tag teams. And I think that could be the one way you solve the issue. Next, we had a match with Nikki Ash, almost a superhero, going against Rhea Ripley. Match that I didn't understand. I don't know why this match is happening outside the fact that they're going to have a triple threat match at SummerSlam. But Rhea dominated Nikki. She destroyed Nikki. It made no sense. If you're going to have Charlotte Flair ringside, and this Charlotte and Rhea Ripley feud is awesome. It's great. These guys should be feuding for the next 2 or 3 years, just in and out, running into each other, bumping into each other, possibly teaming one of those tag teams. I don't like you, you don't like me, but we have a common enemy type tag team, and it's successful for a couple of months until they break up and go back to feuding again, right? We've seen it work plenty of times, especially with Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold. It could have been that type of feud where it constantly happens and continues and continue. If you have Charlotte Flair ringside, she should be more so concerned with costing Rhea Ripley the match to Nikki Ash. I don't understand why they let Rhea go out there and dominate Nikki in that fashion, especially with SummerSlam being in 5-6 days. So that made zero sense to me, right? But once again, I feel like the women have another issue where there's just not enough women. I don't think Nikki Ash should be the women's champion right now. No knock on Nikki Ash, not saying that she's not getting the ring, not saying that she hasn't been killing this superhero role, but I feel like right now that title should still be on either Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley. But we're running into a situation where there's not too many women on that upper tier that can really go and challenge these women. So it makes sense if you're going to put the belt on someone like Nikki Ash, it's with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that's the best way you could do it. But my point is, why? Is she going to hold the title for a long time? I feel like she's bringing down the prestige of that title because she can't beat the women who previously held this belt. If Rhea Ripley came out there and dominated Nikki Ash, what's the point of Nikki Ash having a title? That makes zero sense. If Charlotte Flair goes out there and dominate Nikki whenever she feels like it, what's the point of having Nikki Ash out there as the champion? Now, I like Bianca Belair. I like the Baileys. I like the Sasha Banks, right? Same thing I said about the men's tag team championship. Same thing applies to the women division as a whole. I feel like all the women should be able to jump brands because it's only but so many women on that top tier level, right? Now with you introducing these women tag team championships, look, you got to put together some women. You can't just have your Raw brand. Now you're handicapping yourself to who can actually be teammates on Monday Night Raw. What if Bayley and Natalya would have been a much better tag team to throw together? You can't do that now. Eva Marie and a Carmella would have been a much better tag team, and it would have made sense to put those two together. But you can't do that because they're on separate brands. So I think the women title, tag team wise, and singles competition, they need to just destroy that brand split. That's the only way I really see it making sense. Now, on Monday Night Raw side, if Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax aren't going to be a tag team anymore, then you need to let Shayna get back to doing what she does and let her go after that Raw Women's Championship. I feel like she would have been a much better candidate than Nikki Ash to be the one to face a Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair and be believable at doing so, right? So, the landscape of this women's title to me is just all over the place, and it could be done a whole lot better. Now, with these Raw Women titles, we know that Tamina and Natalya are the champions. Well, I guess they're on both brands. They're the champions. There's only one set of women's title, but they're the champions. I feel like WWE should go ahead and strip them of the titles. Only with Natalya being injured, I think it gives them the way to kind of reset this thing and start over and do it right. If we reset this thing and they strip them of the titles, and they do maybe a 8 or 16 team tournament, right? And you invite women from all over the same way you did the women's tournament on NXT, right? Started from all over. You can have tag teams from NXT, tag teams from the UK. You can have women that's going to make one night appearances, whatever. It doesn't matter. But this will give you a legit chance to put together legit women tag teams, right? I would definitely team Tamina and Nia Jax. We already see the success that the Bloodline is having with the men. You could easily run that back with Nia Jax, Tamina, and Naomi. I think that would be sick. With Naomi, to me, being the best singles competitor, she can go after the main title, and Tamina and Nia Jax can go after the tag team titles. I think that would be an awesome thing to do. I think that would make for an interesting storyline. With them being able to jump brands, they could kind of go over and, hang out with the Roman Reigns and the Usos in that big locker room. It's a whole family affair. That would be pretty cool to watch and see happen. But we just got to see what the WWE has in store for their storylines. I feel like they got a bunch of new writers that's trying to take out whatever the old writers did, or maybe they're just getting reassigned to different storylines or something like that, because it just looks so sloppy. Like the transitions of storylines is kind of just sloppy to me, and it's playing out on air. We watched Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, to go back to that, have the same exact storyline 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying? They're almost going out there and cutting the same promo. As if we don't know. Like, we can see you. We've seen it before. But yeah, I would definitely go ahead and make the Raw, the men's tag team, period, be able to jump brand and make it one title. The women and the women tag teams, they should be able to jump brands regardless as well. That's going to also give a chance for some of these NXT women to go ahead and come over to SmackDown Raw and compete, because they got some really good women's talent down there. So, well, not down there, over there. So, I think that would be a pretty good idea. Now, the next match we had this Monday night was Drew McIntyre versus Veer and Shanky. Where Drew McIntyre, of course, went over. He destroyed Veer and Shanky. I cannot believe this tag team. If they're going against the Lucha House Party, they should lose. It's no way that you let one man go out here and dominate in the fashion that he did, and then expect me to believe that this tag team is any better than what we just seen. If that's the case, you might as well say Drew McIntyre's character is stronger than Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior combined. Because that's pretty much what you're showing me. He didn't break a sweat knocking these two guys off. Now, with that, it also, to me, I lose interest in the storyline with Jinder Mahal. I think you had a chance to make a really good storyline, especially with these two being in the fashion before. It would have made perfect sense. You could have played off that. You could have played off jealousy. You could have played off, who got to the top spot first or who was at the top spot last. Either or. Jinder and Drew could have been so much better. It could have been one of those entertaining storylines where if you love 3MB, you would have been perfectly invested in this storyline. But I feel like they ruined it, because you got Drew McIntyre going out here just running through these guys like it's nothing. They're on small guys. I could see if they was maybe like cruiserweight size. These guys are just as big, if not bigger, than Drew McIntyre himself. So these guys should be putting Drew McIntyre down week after week after week. And SummerSlam should finally be where Drew McIntyre find a way to overcome the odds. But Drew McIntyre has dominated these guys week in, week out. He's always gotten the upper hand over these guys. So that makes me lose interest. I feel like the storyline is starting to lose steam, and you can't push this any further past SummerSlam. if your plan was to do that, I feel like it's now ruined because of how strong you have been making Drew McIntyre look over these past few weeks. Now, to me, I feel like Jinder Mahal has zero chance of winning at SummerSlam. Like, very slim chances. You don't have Veer and Shanky, your only, help to go in there and distract Drew McIntyre or something like that. So I can't possibly believe that Jinder Mahal is going to go in there one-on-one and defeat Drew McIntyre, not after the momentum that he's been having. Like, you pretty much told the ending to this match for me before we even got to SummerSlam. So you kind of ruined, it's no surprise now. Like, this, why should we sit down and watch this match if we've seen what Drew McIntyre been doing? We should already know how this match is going to end. You already told us without telling us. Even still, let's think about it. Drew McIntyre wins. Where does he go from here? It's like they don't know what to do with Drew McIntyre, but they still want to feed him wins. They still want to, kind of feed the beast, I should say. So it doesn't hurt, and there's no shame into dropping down and facing Sheamus. That will only make that United States title even more prestigious. Somebody like Drew McIntyre is going after it or is holding that title himself. So if you need something to do with Drew McIntyre, he should be dropping down and going against Damian Priest or Sheamus, whoever is holding that United States title at the end of SummerSlam. And to be honest, I kind of hope that it's Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre drop down and turn heel because, he's been riding this wave of this superhero, this Superman for so long, right? I feel like a heel turn would be the perfect thing that you need, the entertainment value that you need back on Monday Night Raw. That would definitely help. If he decided, like, you know what? I can't get the world title. Bobby Lashley has it. I might as well get the U.S. title. I'll just knock Damian Priest out the park. Hell, I wouldn't even mind if you put Drew McIntyre and Sheamus as a tag team, a legit tag team to actually get along, and let these guys go after the tag team titles at some point as well. Now, speaking of Damian Priest, we had Damian Priest getting the win over The Miz this week. The Miz finally stopped faking his little injury that he had. On a brighter note, we do get the entertainment factor that The Miz brings to Monday Night Raw back. With him being handicapped to that wheelchair, I feel like the roles he could play in and was doing was kind of limited. Now with him being back 100%, I guess, per se, we're going to get that role of The Miz, like we've seen him before, like we loved him before. We've seen the issues that he's having with John Morrison, so maybe that'll be a nice feud going forward. That'll be definitely entertaining inside the ring and definitely outside because these guys are both really good on the microphone. Both can wrestle their asses off. So maybe that's where we're heading to. At least there'll be something for the fans to get interested and kind of get behind, especially if you're a Miz or a Morrison fan yourself. Now, Damian Priest will be going against Sheamus at SummerSlam. He appears to be having a momentum right now, but I don't know, man. I don't know if they're ready to let this United States title go off, to let it go from Sheamus. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup. That's going to be one of those matchups at SummerSlam I'm actually going to be locked into and don't really know which way it's going to go because there's good storylines either way you want to slice it. I think that you can go with either one of these men winning the United States Championship. We also seen Mansoor defeat Mace with a little bit of help from Mustafa Ali. This is a tag team. I don't really mind these guys together, but let's be honest. These guys are too small. I feel like they would be better off in NXT. I feel like they would have the better matches in NXT with the caliber of talent they get to match up against. But they're on Monday Night Raw, and you got Ali trying to show you got Ali trying to show Mansoor the ropes and actually help Mansoor get this win over Mace. Mace and T-Bar, to me, has been one of the most disappointed tag teams that has come up on the main roster since AOP. At least AOP issue was injuries. Mace and T-Bar, they don't appear to be a real tag team. They don't appear to even probably talk to each other outside the ring or the arena, I should say. And I feel like that these guys, I don't really feel like T-Bar should be in a tag team at all. And for one, he needs to change his name back. But he's better off by himself. Granted, these are those big guys that Vince McMahon is looking for. These, over 6'3", 6'4" type guys, over 230 pounds or whatever. That's what he's looking for. But Mace, honestly, he's not as polished in the ring, and it kind of shows. I think he should go back to training a little bit more to, like, tighten up and tone up a few things. But he's not as polished. You can hide him in a tag team, but only for so long. When you put him in matches one-on-one, like even against Mansoor, his selling isn't up to par. His moveset is okay, but I'm not sold on him at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sold on him, especially as a big man that they want to portray him as. I'm not really sold on that. So I would like to see just T-Bar go ahead his own way by himself. That would make the most sense to me. And let Mace go ahead and, fine-tune some skills, I guess they should say. Yeah, I really just can't get behind neither tag team, man. I feel like Mace and T-Bar, they don't feel like a legit tag team. Ali and Mansoor, they do. But at the same time, it's like Mansoor is trying to take advice and learn from under the tree of Mustafa Ali. But what has he really accomplished to really care to learn behind? You know what I'm saying? I just think both of these tag teams will be served better off in NXT. I think that's where we'll get the most bang out of their matches. Now, we moved on to Randy Orton picking up the win over Omos. Now, the one good thing I like about this match, I will say they got it right for sure, is the fact that Omos dominated this matchup. He dominated Randy Orton from the start to finish, and he only lost because of disqualification. AJ Styles didn't even really need to get involved, but he did. He was caught by the referee, but Omos dominated Randy Orton, right? Now, if this guy could just put together a little bit more movesets, he has the minutes, he has the look, he has the size, he has everything he needs to have, just a little bit more movesets, and I think he'll get more comfortable inside the ring. Now with him performing in these one-on-one matchups, granted you have the talent of like Randy Orton and have the luxury of partnering with AJ Styles. So you're getting to learn from some great in-ring performers. If he can tune that size and that minutes and mix it up with some really good in-ring performance, like I said it before, he could be one of the best big men to have ever wrestled in WWE. He has the athleticism already. So he has that part down. He just needs to put together a really good moveset and learn how to tell a story inside of the ring and sell just a little bit more. If he could sell a little bit better, I think he's going to really go far as a singles competitor as well as a tag team. After the match is where we've seen Matt Riddle come down to make the save for Randy Orton. And this is where you see RK Bro reunited as if, like, this was the first time these guys ever decided to tag team. Randy Orton tells Riddle that he respects him. Again, I'm pretty sure he told him that prior, but he tells him again. And they hug it out. And now RK Bro is back, and they're going to pretty much go after the tag team championships on Monday Night Raw against AJ Styles and Omos. Prior to this, I did want to see Matt Riddle and Randy win the tag team titles. I thought it'd be fun. It'll be a fun tag team to watch week in and week out. But right now, I'm kind of hoping that they lose and Randy and Matt Riddle kind of just go ahead and start their own one-on-one feud, because it's still going to be the same entertainment factor, right? I would enjoy that just as much. So honestly, SummerSlam, that tag team match, either way it goes, I'm happy as long as it's a good performance, which I think it will be. Looking at the guys we have in the matchup, I think it's going to be a really good match. Now, we also have Jeff Hardy losing to Karrion Kross. Now, I don't mind it. He was dominated. Like, Karrion Kross whipped his ass, but I don't mind that happening in that fashion, because when I look at it, it's like, look, Karrion Kross is one of these guys that we should be seeing a world title on in the next year, maybe year and a half or so. He's a big guy. He has it all. He's great inside the ring. He can talk. I don't know why they didn't bring Scarlett with him, but I would love to see Scarlett come out there and do her thing. She's one of those legit managers where, she's not going to be in the ring wrestling or, really getting involved too much, but she gives that competitor the edge he needs, that little extra motivation he needs to help go out there and win that match. Kind of like when Rusev and Lana first came to WWE. She gave Rusev that little bit of extra push that he needed to kind of push through some certain matchups he had. Now, I don't mind Karrion Kross beating Jeff Hardy in the fashion that he did, because I feel like they paused the feud for a second because Jeff Hardy had that battle with COVID. Thank goodness he overcame that. And then they picked it right back up where they had left off. And I feel like they kind of threw fans for a loop a little bit. They threw a curveball and they wasn't sure what to do. When Jeff Hardy had COVID, they were like, okay, dang, what do we do Karrion Kross now? He could have just beat up like some jobbers for the next 2 weeks, and it would have been perfect. But, they didn't know what to do. So they decided to kick off the same feud, and Karrion Kross managed to go ahead and put Jeff Hardy away actually pretty quickly. Now, I don't mind that for the fact that Jeff Hardy to me is kind of like one of those gatekeepers, right? I feel like Jeff Hardy is the guy that you're going to have to see before you go to a United States title or a world title, or before you get to fight those guys from that next tier. You're going to have to get past Jeff Hardy first. And I like Jeff Hardy in that role, especially as a face and you're trying to push a heel. If you have a feud with Jeff Hardy, you've seen what it did for Sheamus. When they moved Sheamus over to Jeff Hardy to Monday Night Raw, and he feud with Sheamus, after Sheamus defeated Jeff Hardy, it was kind of like that push and that momentum, that boost he needed to then go on and win that United States Championship. So I could see Karrion Kross getting that same type of rub and that boost from the fans that don't really know, who aren't really too familiar with Karrion Kross, even in NXT or prior to NXT. With him going to get somebody like Jeff Hardy, I can see these guys ending their feud with maybe like a long 15-minute match where you get to see what Karrion Kross can actually do inside the ring if you haven't seen him before. So that's why I like him with Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy is a perfect gatekeeper right now on that Monday Night Raw brand. To pretty much close out the show, we had Bobby Lashley and Bill Goldberg go out there and cut a horrible promo. Like it's getting bad, guys. Like it sucks. Like, jeez. Bobby want to go dominate. Goldberg wants to be a gladiator. Cheer for his, he had his son whole football team look like out there. So he was going to kind of come out on top of that whole situation. But what I will say is the fact that he speared Bobby Lashley and kind of left Bobby Lashley laying at the end of Monday Night Raw, that's what I would have kind of wanted to see out of Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. I would want to see Drew McIntyre kind of laid out at the end of the match, because now it builds like, okay, I'm going to be pissed off going into SummerSlam. The guy who you thought was going to win, now it's kind of like, man, will he win? Because he was put down and he didn't get up as quick as he normally does or as fast as he used to. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. I feel like Bill Goldberg and Bobby Lashley made sense, though. I know a lot of people don't like the matchup that Bill Goldberg came back and jumped right back into the world title scene. I know. But look, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense because you got somebody like Bobby Lashley, right? They didn't let him beat Drew McIntyre clean at all. None of the 3 matches he beat Drew McIntyre clean. He needs to have a notch under his belt. He needs that solidification. Drew McIntyre, let's look at his resume. He beat Brock Lesnar. Same night, he defeated The Big Show. He defeated Randy Orton, where he got the most rub and push from. He defeated Bill Goldberg. So, in our eyes, and to the fan eyes, Drew McIntyre is legit. He's solidified. Bobby, you beat Kofi. Okay. You beat Drew McIntyre, but you didn't do it clean. Okay. Brock isn't here. So the next best person to go out there and put sheer dominance on has to be somebody like Bill Goldberg. You're not going to get The Undertaker back, and even if you did, it's not The Undertaker that we want to see. John Cena is already over there on SmackDown with Randy Orton, so you're not going to get that. With Roman Reigns, I'm sorry. So you're not going to get that, and you're not going to go against Roman Reigns since he's the champion on SmackDown. So, where can we get this big rub, this big push to kind of solidify our Bobby Lashley? Bill Goldberg. It makes sense. When you stop and you think about it, it makes sense. But he has to go out there and dominate. He has to get speared and get up. Get speared and roll out the ring. Like, he has to be ready. This match shouldn't be a 15-minute, 20-minute drawn-out matchup. This should be 7 to 10 minutes, and then Bobby Lashley dominating the last 4, put on that Hurt Lock. When Bill Goldberg is trying to take that steam back, that momentum back in that last minute, Bobby Lashley locking on that Hurt Lock right in front of his son, just waving him around like a rag dog. That's how it should end. Then, at that point, that's your perfect timing. That's your opportunity to have someone come out there and stop what's happening to Bill Goldberg. His son can't do it. His son's 15 years old. He can't possibly get in the ring while his dad is in that, hurt lock, passed out, with MVP taunting him. You know what I'm saying? You seen the picture, seen my vision? With MVP taunting his son, Bill Goldberg's in the hurt lock, the bell has rung. You're going to need someone to come out there and make that save. If it's your Keith Lee, you got to be prepared to push your Keith Lee to the moon. You got to be prepared. Whoever you send out there, you have to be prepared to push them to the moon, because it cannot be Drew McIntyre. He's already lost that opportunity. This would be a perfect time to bring someone over from a different brand. This would be a perfect time for someone to make a debut. I would love for someone like The Fiend to come back, or Bronson Reed, or something like that to happen. Aleister Black and Andrade, that's for surely not going to be the case. But this is your opportunity to close out that SummerSlam match, or that main event. Well, they probably won't main event. I'll definitely see Roman Reigns doing that. But this is your chance to pretty much close out that matchup with Bill Goldberg and Bobby Lashley in the bang, man. This is a chance to really get some entertainment factor back behind Monday Night Raw, to kind of get people back on the edge of their seats. Hell, this would be the perfect time for you to bring in Big E with his briefcase. He don't have to cash it in, but this is the perfect time to bring him over there to kind of say, hey, you got other things to worry about now. I'm running around here with this briefcase. I'm going to do what I want to do. You would have the New Day reunited. As I said, they probably would be heading around October. So you can have the perfect chance to have the New Day reunited. That's another big entertainment factor that you're going to have back on Monday Night Raw. So you got guys like the New Day, you got guys like the Miz, who can talk and take up about 10 to 15 minutes and keep you entertained every step of the way. So that's what I think need to happen at SummerSlam. Somebody like Bobby Lashley and Big E kind of ending it off in a stare down or something like that. You got the new young boy that's ready to take the place of the old bull that you just now put down. So that's where I could see this thing going. As far as everything else on the landscape of WWE Monday Night Raw, especially, let's go and talk about Elias. Elias appears to be getting a gimmick change. No longer coming out here walking with Elias. No more coming out here playing the guitar. We've seen him buried last week. This week we see him with the graveyard. I like it. I like it a lot, because I feel like Elias is one of those guys who should have been pushed a long time ago. And if you watch this channel, if you're a fan of this channel, you know my, love I have for Elias. I think he is one of those talents that really needs to get some good push behind him. He has the look, the charisma, he can talk, promos are great. He has everything you want in the making of a champion. He's a big guy. He's not small, as Vince McMahon would say. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Elias going forward. Keith Lee, I would love to see what's going on with Keith Lee, man. Recently, he just made a post about pretty much everything that was going on with him when he was out. He was gone earlier part of this year. He had just came up from just came over. I gotta stop staying up. I gotta stop saying up. He just came over from NXT, and he was making some noise. He was making some waves, and he kind of like just fell off a little bit. So go check out his post on that. He really breaks down everything that he was going through at that time, and it really makes sense of what's happening. But now that he's back, I want to know what direction that Keith Lee is going to be going in, because he's one of your big guys, very, very, very talented. He actually lost against Bobby Lashley in his return matchup, so you got some space to make a nice little feud right there. Your Damian Priest, I love the matchup between him and Sheamus. Alexa Bliss, without the Fiend, honestly, I'm not really invested in the Alexa Bliss character anymore. Unless she's going to take over someone, which she hasn't so far. I feel like Shayna Baszler or Asuka mainly, would have been the perfect person she could have, possessed, as you would say. And pretty much let them go out there and go back to a real dominant role like they were before, like they were in NXT before they came to Monday Night Raw. Asuka was undefeated. She was dominant. Shayna Baszler, remember when she came over in that Elimination Chamber, she destroyed everybody in the chamber. She's a beast. I think it would be perfect to pair them up with Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss kind of control their strings a little bit, and they're the one going out there and doing the work and doing the bidding for Alexa Bliss, so that, you know, whoever comes to the front, well, not the front house, to the playground, they're going to have to now deal with this zombie mode of a Asuka or the zombie mode of a Shayna Baszler. And they're believable. Any woman that you put them up against, if they defeat that woman, it's believable. So I don't understand why they're not pushing my storyline. Push my storyline already. I think it would be great, man. Asuka get that mist back, come out there in like a black robe. Music be slowed. Same theme song just slowed down. Oh, that would be so fire. That would be so fire. Eva Marie and Doudrop. Yo, I like Doudrop. She's a beast. I like her a lot. I wish she would have been the one to go in there with Money in the Bank. She is absolutely awesome, talented. I like everything about Doudrop. Now Eva Marie, I don't know where we're gonna go with Eva Marie. I feel like this is the same exact Eva Marie that we had when Eva was first here. She barely wrestles. Her promos are okay. Even with her having Doudrop, I more so just care about watching Doudrop than Eva Marie. I feel like she would be better served in a tag team with Carmella, which I hinted to earlier. They would make the most sense. You know what I'm saying? And I think it would be kind of cool if they did have a butler. Not the same thing like Reginald, but kind of like a butler. Maybe like a 6'5" big dude who actually wrestles and handle business as well. But he's also their driver. He's their, you know, protector. You know, all that type stuff. He's their chauffeur per se. He's their personal assistant. That's the word I'm looking for. He's their personal assistant. Comes out there, nice tailored suit when it's time to go to work. Takes off the top, leave the dress pants on. Handle business pretty quickly. We had a guy that was the size of, I think, Karrion Kross, go out there and he played the role of that personal assistant, that butler, that chauffeur, to Carmella and Eva Marie. I think that would be fire. I think that would be pretty good. I think that would help push them over as a tag team. Just that little extra bit, because they already kind of have similar styles, I would say. So it will push them over a little bit. And then you also got someone that can legitimately go out there and win some matches one-on-one by himself when it's time to. The 24/7 championship, man, it's pretty much between three guys now. Tozawa, R-Truth, and Reginald. I like Reginald. He's really entertaining. Every method he has of escaping these guys has been really good. So I will take my hats off to that. The 24/7 championship was getting a little boring just watching guys run back and forth. But now with these three in their own little storyline, it's actually pretty entertaining, I can't lie. And I like the fact that he's actually defending the title in one-on-one matchups. I like that. That's pretty cool. Kind of what I was saying that you need a television title for, but maybe on a higher level than a 24/7 championship. Maybe on a similar level as the United States Championship, where this guy or whoever holds this title can jump brands. Someone like Elias would be perfect. He could jump brands. He could talk. He's a really good in-ring worker. And you can use him to help kind of propel or display the talent of your other younger wrestlers that you haven't really pushed yet. Because all you got to do is take them to a 10, 15-minute time limit, whatever you want that time limit to be, and it would display the skills of whatever other wrestler he's in the ring with at the time. Or you can have him just go ahead and put some people lights out really quick. Either or. So I still think they need that television title so that, you know, certain wrestlers can jump brands back and forth. Other than that, man, we have a slew of firings in the WWE. Some I understand, some I'm absolutely mind-boggled. I have an idea what may possibly be happening, and I'm going to share that, but I'm not even sure if this is actually the play. The big names that they let go, the Ric Flairs, the Andrades, the Aleister Blacks, the Bray Wyatts, to me, the Bronson Reed. I like Bronson Reed a lot. I think he's everything you're actually looking for. You said you want a big guy that can move, that can wrestle. Damn, if he's not Bam Bam Bigelow reincarnated, I don't know what he is. And how in the hell could you not want that? That's crazy to me. But these guys are gone, right? Along with a slew of other people. It was over 50 firings, I believe in 2021 alone, over 50 firings. Now, The only thing I can think of, right? Some of these guys get let go, but they're gonna bring them back maybe in a few months as maybe another character or the older character, and they're just trying to, have them off TV for a while, and then bring them back and rebuild that momentum. That's one. Two, maybe they're trying to send all these talents to AEW. As crazy as that sounds, I know that's stupid, right? Why would I send my talent to my competitor? With AEW focusing on that video game and putting all that money towards a video game, and then still hiring these big acts. I mean, even Andrade has some type of clause where I think he can say how he loses the matchup or something like that. But if you're giving away creative control, that's a little scary. And if you're bringing in all this talent, money is going to start to become a factor. So maybe this is their way of trying to, I don't know, force AEW to sign this talent that everyone wants to see, and then bankrupt AEW in WCW fashion. I don't know. That's very far-fetched, but I can't possibly fathom why they're letting go all this talent. It makes zero sense to me. Except my first idea of maybe they're gonna bring them back. They kind of want it to die down and let people forget about them for a second, and then bring them all back. That could be something. But we also have the issue now of Vince McMahon talking about NXT. You have something that's actually working, something that's going for you, something that the fans who love that indie style wrestling is actually getting behind and starting to love. You want to change it back to developmental in a sense. Now, with you being on USA Network, I don't think they're going to be happy about you going back to tape shows. That's not what they paid for. They didn't pay for you to have taped episodes. They paid for live television, right? So I think that's going to be an issue if they even try to do that. But I believe the next 3 episodes have already been taped and recorded. So, if Vince McMahon wants to bring in these big guys, these 6'4", 6'5", over 240, 250 pound guys, and turn NXT kind of back into that developmental territory that it was prior, what is going to happen with all this talent? Are you going to let all this talent go? I mean, I can't fathom that. It's like, I can't see that happening. Vince McMahon is smart enough to realize, like, hey, Triple H has built something here. He brought on Shawn Michaels. He has the William Regal in his corner. Like, these guys built something special to the point that fans want to see this. Not only do the fans want to see it, but hell, USA Network decided to pick this up as it's a third show. Well, a second show, I can say now, because SmackDown's on Fox, but decided to pick it up as a live show. With that being said, you have to replace this somehow. It's not enough days in the week for, wrestling to come on. We already got it, Monday through Friday, I believe. Yeah, Monday through Friday, we already have wrestling. So unless you're going to make a Saturday show, and it's really hard to get fans behind a Saturday show, because, let's face it, they're out and about, they're doing things with their friends, family. That's the time they're going to spend with them, and they're not going to be in the house actually watching wrestling. I don't understand why they don't, just use Evolve as its territory to develop this younger talent. Or, hell, even start a YouTube show similar to what AEW did, and it could still be in the Performance Center, and just that be where you develop your younger talent. I don't understand the logic behind it, but one thing I can say is this. Vince McMahon has managed to make WWE more and more and more profitable every decade that he's been running the show. And that's been for a very long time now. So one thing I'm not going to do is argue with someone who's been, running the wrestling business for, as long as I've been born. So there's no way that I doubt that Vince McMahon doesn't have a plan or some type of ace up his sleeve that he's going to end up presenting and bringing out. You let go a lot of talent. A lot of talent, man. Now you're trying to take back NXT. Something's cooking. Something's cooking. We don't see it yet, but something's definitely brewing. But that has been the landscape of Monday Night Raw in the past couple of months that I have not been able to record. I should be back to a regular recording basis now, though, so make sure you guys tune in. Oh, yeah, like, subscribe. I forgot to do that. You got to do that. And I've been addicted to these pops, man. So this is one of my first pops I got, right? This cool Andre the Giant pop. I couldn't, I don't know if you can really see it too well, but I couldn't pass it up. I seen this at the MCW show, which was an amazing show. That was the first show that they had since COVID, with fans being back in the building. They did an amazing job. Hats off to those guys. Also, what I just picked up today, I'm really excited about it, man. I managed to find this Bray Wyatt pop, this Fiend pop. I don't know if you can see that too well, but either. But I managed to find this Fiend pop. I'll put that up here with my Andre the Giant. You're gonna see this pop wall behind me get pretty much filled up soon. But I managed to find that Fiend pop, and I've been looking for that for a while. I kind of lucked up. I found someone who was selling it, and they didn't want much for it, surprisingly. So I did luck up and get that. I also have these Young Buck pops coming. Now I'm thinking about doing a giveaway with the Young Buck pops. It's from their New Japan promotion, so it's not gonna say AEW on it. It's gonna say New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I accidentally bought two, so I think I'll just do a giveaway like that, especially since I've been gone so long. Why not do a giveaway? So I think I'll do a giveaway for the Young Buck pops, and it'll be something really simple. And yeah, I think I'll do that. Maybe for the SummerSlam pay-per-view if we got time to actually. Now we probably don't have time for that. I'll find something to do. Maybe head into an AEW pay-per-view. That would make more sense anyway. But that has been the landscape of Monday Night Raw. NYG couldn't make it for this episode of Let's Talk About It. So, salute to my man NYG. We'll be back really soon. We'll probably do something for SummerSlam anyway. So that's later on this week. So you'll definitely see us back very, very soon. But man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the landscape of Monday Night Raw and WWE. I think it needs to be more entertaining. I think whatever writers they have in place now, I believe they're new. I believe they're just getting into this, because there's no way that these guys have constantly wrote the same episodes essentially, 2 weeks in a row. There's no way they did that. I'm hoping there's no way they did that. But let me know what you guys think about Monday Night Raw. To me, it's my third favorite show coming on, weekly episode right now. Actually, no, it's number 4. I got SmackDown, NXT, and AEW Dynamite right now over top of Monday Night Raw. That's just what it is, man, to be honest. Let me know what you guys think. Where do you guys have it ranked in the 5 wrestling shows that we now have throughout the week, Monday through Friday? Where do you have Monday Night Raw ranked? What do you want to see out of Monday Night Raw? Do you think that Bobby Lashley is going to be able to defeat Bill Goldberg and retain that title? Would you like to see Bill Goldberg as a champion again? He's done it before. He's come back and off the couch and won the title. So, hell, it could possibly happen. But do you guys want to see that? And what do you guys think should happen with Alexa Bliss? That's the real question. What do you guys see Alexa Bliss, and where do you guys see her going? That's the question. Where do you guys see Alexa Bliss going? Do you see her maybe taking control of someone like I think? Do you see her just possibly going one-on-one solo by herself and to continue getting it done? Do you think Lily will take on a human form and that be somebody? Do you think Bray Wyatt will eventually make his way back to the WWE and, reunite with Alexa Bliss? Let me know, man. Talk to me. This is episode number 8 of Let's Talk About It, the landscape of WWE Monday Night Raw. That is the end of our episode. I will see you guys back in actually a few short days, because I will be doing the landscape of AEW Dynamite with a little taste of Rampage in there for Let's Talk About It episode number 9. You don't want to miss that, because that show is way more exciting than what's going on right now on Monday Night Raw, alright? But that's all I got for you this week. Well, for this episode right here, I'm Cato. I'm signing out. Peace.